Welcome to another Fireside chat, where I'll invite our cybersecurity technical instructors to join me to talk about individual cybersecurity courses we offer through DDLS. Today, we're talking about ISC Squared's System Security Certified Practitioner, or SSCP. And joining me to discuss this course, once again, is Terry Griffin. Terry, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Jeremy, for inviting me. It's good to be here.
My pleasure. So the SSCP, it's a 5-day course that we run, an exam review course. What's covered off, and what are those attending this course going to learn over those 5 days?
Well, in 5 days, we have 7 domains. I'll go into each domain to a certain extent without getting too heavily into it. We look at security operations and administration. This is going into the security of your system, and some of the security operations we look at are logging and CM. So we're looking at these logs and extracting information out of the logs. We go then into access controls and identification and access management, or IAM as we call it, and making sure that two-factor authentication is used for at least administrators and hopefully all users within the organisation, so that we can protect against password spraying, which has been unfortunately used a number of times to attack different companies. We look at risk identification, monitoring and analysis, and within the risk identification, we go deeper into that with looking at a business impact analysis, an asset register to make sure we know what assets we've got so we know what to protect against as far as these risks are concerned. And we look at monitoring and analysis once again with the logs and analysing those logs. Moving on then, incident response and recovery. We look at Lockheed Martin, the cyber kill chain they produced when they were hacked. They came out with the cyber kill chain and published that for the world so that the world could see how Lockheed Martin themselves were hacked and how they would recommend defending against it. It's becoming, excuse me, a very common thread in a lot of security courses, the Lockheed Martin cyber kill chain, and it's a fairly easily understood process, but extremely important in understanding how it should occur. We discuss then victims of ransomware and other attacks during the course, and at one stage how the cyber kill chain could have been used against some of these attacks. Moving on further, we look at cryptography, both asymmetric and symmetric encryption, and the differences between the two, and why we need both asymmetric and symmetric encryption in order to encrypt our data across the wire. We roll that into network and communication security, so symmetric encryption is used particularly for encrypting on the fly. So network and communication security, such as voice over IP encryption, is going to be used there with symmetric encryption. And then we look at systems and application security. Particularly with application security, we go down into the weeds looking at the application security with DevSecOps and other application development systems.
So a lot of content to cover in 5 days.
Oh, there is. There's a lot of content, and we don't have hands-on labs as such during the course, but what we do have in place of it, and I think the students enjoy this just as well as the hands-on labs, is we have a lot of discussions during the course, and we put the students using the Zoom breakout room or the equivalent breakout room in Teams. I can't recall what that's called, but we put them into groups in the breakout rooms, and they discuss these particular targets or opportunities among themselves and come up with responses, and then we discuss these responses back in the class, effectively by putting the students in groups in the classroom and then bringing them all back together so that they discuss how they would solve these problems and how it could best be done.
Fantastic. And so looking at the spread of domains that are covered, so the SSCP is it is sort of aimed at IT professionals who are frontline technical professionals. They're sort of on the tools, as they would say each day. It is expected that you do have some security remit coming into this. What kind of professionals, or what kind of roles are you seeing? Like, is it a widespread? Like, is it network administrators? Is it security managers? You know, are they all sort of at that point where they're starting off in their cybersecurity career and they're really wanting to use the SSCP, you know, as that, I guess let's call it a springboard, you know, to further their existing knowledge that they already have about security, but really set them on that path.
Yeah, the students who undergo this course would probably have already gone through some form of networking course, such as Network Plus or a Cisco networking course, and from there they moved to perhaps Security Plus and then to the CCSP. The CCSP gives them an excellent grounding in pretty much any security-related position within an IT organisation. Programmers are covered, network administrators, server administrators are all covered here as to the best practices they should perform within the corporate system in order to keep it secure.
Sorry, and I'll just correct you there. And I know this is, you know, these aren't scripted. So where Terry did mention the CCSP. This is the SSCP. CCSP is all about cloud. We will actually be doing a chat around, you know, the ultimate acronym guide with cybersecurity courses, because there's a lot of them. But the CCSP, you know, is all around cloud security as well, and we will cover that off in a separate fireside chat. But yeah, no, I mean that's very relevant what you're saying. You know, coming from that network experience, I think the CCNA actually aligns quite nicely with this as well, with people with that networking experience and that sort of foundational security experience as well. And once someone's sat the SSCP, you know, what would they look at next? Like, would they be looking to go to more of a technical school? Would they look at something maybe like the cybersecurity analyst from CompTIA to then sort of, you know, I guess hone their skills more around that whole risk and analysis and incident response domains?
Well, I've found that the SSCP does give you a good launch pad to go into the Certified Cloud Security Professional, which is another one I teach, which is why I tend to get
too many acronyms.
Get the acronyms confused. Look, it took me a couple of months to get my head around the ISC squared breakdown from International Information System Security Certification Consortium. It took me a while to be able to say that. But yeah, cybersecurity analyst would be one to follow. I think the CCSP, the Certified Cloud Security Professional, cybersecurity analyst, and then to top it all off, the CISSP, Certified Information System Security Professional, which is more of a management end. But then these guys who are doing these courses are working their way upwards in the organisation until they get to be management. And if they've got a good grounding in security, then they will make the ideal CISO, which the country and companies within this country certainly need lots of, because they're crying out for decent security people at the top of these organisations to know how to protect the companies that they're working for.
It sounds like the SSCP is where they should start. Terry, thank you so much. We've run out of time for this chat, but really appreciate you having a chat with me today. No doubt I'll be talking to you in the future about some of our other courses, including the CCSP. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeremy.